And this is actually what we are focused on. So we are delivering the SaaS base for different use cases related to energy market. People can play the active role, so they can be energy consumers and energy producers. Let's think about how we can utilize the newest technologies. We are building the critical infrastructure for energy market. If we don't think about decentralization since day one, later on it could be too late.
Welcome to the Bare Metal Podcast.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bare Metal Podcast. Today I have Greg Sikora with me from Chain4Energy. Welcome, Greg.
Hi, Martin. Pleasure to be here.
Let's dive right in. I'm interested in how you guys got started with Chain4Energy. What's the background? How did the team come together?
Actually, you may know that we are from let's say telco business, and this is our background. And even I'm quite often telling that when I was just after university, I applied for the work to one of the mobile operator, and I've seen the innovation in the telco market. And I was so excited that at that time so many stuff happened, innovation from even, simple, let's say not web actually, G2, where you had just, texting, calling, to 5G mobiles right now, where you can do everything using smartphone. And before smartphone era, nobody could guess what we can do with mobile. And so this is actually the stage where we are. And in energy market, we have right now similar situation, that we are at the verge of huge transformation, especially here in Europe, where we have, for instance, Repower EU directive, which, let's say, maybe not force, but encourage belonging countries to be independent from fossil fuel, especially Russian gas. And the energy market is going into this decentralization, digitalization, and decarbonization. And so there are three mega trends which are in this market. And so as we have experience from let's say, telco market, which is very critical, and you have to know how to work and speak to enterprises. We see that we can use our experience as well in energy market, working as well with experts. So this is more or less the idea behind where we started.
So the founding team, you guys already knew each other when you started Chain4Energy, or did you guys meet at some energy conference and decide, okay, you know what, this makes sense?
No. So actually, together with Dominic and Pavel, other co-founders, we know each other for ages. Actually, we have another company which is in telco market, and we are delivering services for such customers like Deutsche Telekom, Orange Group, Iliad Group, and other big brands. And so we are doing this such heavy stuff which is in the background. And maybe because you ask what was the beginning of our project, maybe let me share one example, which was actually for me the wow moment. We were invited by Deutsche Telekom to help them to build the solution for roaming agreements using blockchain technology. And they were invited such groups like Orange, Telefonica, Vodafone, DT, the major players.
All the big integrators.
Exactly. And at that time they were using Hyperledger Fabric, and we implemented the solution using this decentralized network. And the idea was to remove the middleman from the roaming agreement, which is called clearinghouse. And I understood that if such players like big brands, operator brands, can work together using distributed ledger, why we cannot use the same pattern for different market?
Did you guys use Tendermint to submit the solution?
Sorry, can you repeat?
Did you guys use Tendermint to build your solution? What was the infra for the blockchain that you guys wanted to deliver?
So at that project, it was purely Hyperledger Fabric because it was the solutions selected by operators.
Oh, so you guys had to build on Hyperledger. Okay.
Exactly. When we started to build our project, we did deep dive analysis what technology solution we should use, and so we are considering building token on existing EVM platform, like for instance Ethereum. But what is the problem of Ethereum? High gas and so on.
Not good for microtransactions.
Exactly. We thought, okay, maybe let's use Terra. We have in Poland. We had the second largest Terra community, and the ecosystem was quite known. But fortunately, we didn't decide to do that. But as a technology, this ecosystem was very bulletproof. So this is something what we have to say. And we realized that they are using Cosmos, and started to dig deeper, and we see that the Cosmos SDK is one of, in my opinion, the best solution to build such use case or such solution for such critical market like energy.
Yeah, and it makes sense for an app chain when you have a use case like you guys do, which is involved with energy. So I'd love to dig into this a little bit more. You already mentioned, I guess, why you guys picked energy. We're talking about the confluence of some megatrends, but how do you guys write this, or what are the specific things you're focusing on in the energy space?
Okay, so this is actually quite interesting question, because when we talk to people, and the first understanding is you are tokenizing energy, and at some point, yes, I can explain later on what does it mean, but the most important from our perspective, and actually this is what we are doing, is how to utilize blockchain technology, but not only blockchain technology, honestly, because we should take into consideration as well IoT, AI, even semantic web, different technologies, which when you are mixing them in the right way, then you can provide the best user experience. And this is actually what we are focused on. So we are delivering the SaaS-based subscription as a service model for different use cases related to energy markets, and utilizing blockchain technology for immutability, automation through smart contracts. Of course, right now we are using Go modules, but the automation is there, so it's not exactly smart contract, but we can say like that, and governance. So there are three pillars of the using blockchain technology for our use cases. So
I'd love to dig into that in a little bit later, but let's look at what the specific things you're delivering, right? So you guys are stringing together a whole bunch of tech and integrating it to make sure products streamlined. But on your website, I looked at energy communities. You guys talk about energy communities. You talk about charging EVs. How are you delivering these products? Because that's a long way to blockchain. So what's the idea? What do you guys deliver for something? What's an energy community? What do you guys deliver for them?
Okay, so let's explain what does it mean energy communities, and then explain how we are approaching this topic. So energy communities, actually, it's depend on the country. It can be called cooperative or energy cluster. Actually, this is European Union initiative, directive that the Europe should go into, let's say, civil energy, where people can play the active role at the energy market. What does it mean? So they can be energy consumers and energy producers. And it actually causes a lot of different consequences. And one of the consequences is that the energy production and consumption goes from the centralized approach, like you have big energy plants which are producing energy, to decentralize, that you have different small energy sources. Right now, they should be renewable energy sources, and you should balance energy at local level. And this is actually what is the idea behind energy communities, that you can collect together with neighbors or businesses together, which are quite close, and create such kind of group, which is called energy community. And then you can define own rules how you're gonna to trade energy each other inside the community. And for instance, you can define that if there is energy source somewhere nearby, you can buy this energy for such a specific price. And this is actually how it is more regulated. And what is important from the energy community perspective, that you have meet some specific KPIs. For instance, more than 70% of energy has to be from the produced by energy community itself. And there are different KPIs. And this is actually why we are building this software, to help people to manage energy communities, that it should be easygoing, and you don't have to have any diploma to make it happen.
Sure, to build this out. Right, so this is where I can start seeing connection to tech, right? So somebody's going to need to tap into the energy at the source, certify the type of energy, how it was manufactured. So I'm trying to see like IoT sensors, which are looking at energy flux or power just emitted into the network, and then you have to somehow make sure this is registered, I guess, on the blockchain. So then you have a ledger that you can point to and say this energy community has met the KPI of in manufacturing 70% of its energy internally. Is that sort of ballpark? Roughly?
Yes, exactly. And maybe let me give you some example to make it more clear what actually you can do. Imagine that we are living nearby, like more three districts, and for instance, there are, let's say, 10 neighbors or 3 businesses. This is the minimal level, for instance, in Poland, but in many countries more or less the same. And we want to build energy community. So you need first tool which tell you, like, are you sufficient? So is your setup sufficient to build energy communities? So like kind of calculator or a predictive analytics tool,
like a model or something.
Exactly. And then if you have energy community, and then you can decide inside community, and so you need some kind of group DAO. So this is another topic which we are building right now, doing for energy communities, to decide, okay guys, maybe we should invest in some energy storage, or maybe we can invest in some energy source like wind farm or whatever. And then or maybe we can add new members, then we will have more money to invest in the future.
So you propose to do this using like a DAO contract on chain?
Exactly.
The community is going to be represented by a DAO contract, and it will manage itself, and all the voting will be sort of transparent.
Exactly.
I get it.
To be transparent. And it's like when we started to think about what we can do in energy market, we said, okay guys, we cannot think from the legacy tooling perspective, because there are other on the market, and we will be always followers. Let's think about how we can utilize the newest technologies, and we can create value and be a competitive advantage. And this is actually how we think about this market. I know that people don't understand what we are trying to say, because it is quite complicated, but at the end of the day, we believe that we will be at right place at right time when will be product market fit on, and so this is actually what we wanted to achieve.
Plus, your job is to make it simple, right? So that's what I guess what you guys are working on, to make it exactly easy. So I want to briefly touch on another use case that I was interested in. I saw some screenshots from an app. You guys are trying to organize sort of like a P2P charging community. How is that, is that something you can comment on in a few sentences? Like, where's that effort? Like, what are the main challenges now?
Yes, thanks, Martin. I forgot to mention about our newest achievement. So we made, we call it neighborhood socket sharing. Like, imagine that you have house or a small restaurant or you are renting apartment on Booking, whatever, and you want to make more attractive your offer, or you want to monetize your EV charger. And right now you can easily buy any charger on the market, but you don't have billing attached to this charger. And so we thought, okay, what we can do here? And we said, okay, if we add charging and let's charging billing to the charger, it will be, you can monetize your energy or your service quite easily. And then we said, okay, let's think how we can use the blockchain technology to make it even more simple, and in the future to give ability to connect other partners quite easily. And this is actually how we build this use case that right now we are integrated with one of EV charger producer, GreenCell, through Open API. And if any other charging device producer would like to integrate with our blockchain, so it can do that without any permission to even, I would say, it's permissionless. Or on the other hand, right now you can access this use case through mobile app, which we built as a, some demo showcase, but there is no restriction that other end user applications can connect to this blockchain infrastructure.
So you foresee yourself at the center of this open infrastructure with providers and consumers variously connecting through various interfaces. Yeah, these are very interesting use cases. So let's move more into the
we will show this in Prague. So if anybody is interested in it, so I can present how it works, how you can exchange energy to token. Right now we are using C4E tokens, but once we will integrate it with Axelar through IBC, so you can pay with Atom, even Ethereum, whatever token you'd like to have, and pay with any token, and ultimately it will be fiat payment through fiat.
Integrated with fiat on the ramps, pay by credit card, if I want. Yeah, that sounds pretty interesting, which gives us a good bridge to sort of how you guys are using blockchain today and how you plan to use it. So we discussed some use cases, or I guess there's a blockchain as
Martin, sorry, just for breaking, because this is actually a question why you are using blockchain. And so once I am presenting the use case, showing, okay, you see right now I am charging car, and then just switching my display and showing, you see here is the explorer of our blockchain, and you see those transactions like adding tokens to escrow contract, then charging, and so on. Everything is transparent, and you can see how it goes.
Okay, so you have built this functionality out, like the app, you can actually show that on testnet.
Yes. This is actually, the beauty of the solution, that we can show it how it works, and it is integrated with blockchain.
So, okay, understand. The problem here will be, of course, how to get people onboarded. Like, given that, I just want to charge my car, and what's the crypto onboarding experience today? Well, go, install Kepler, use an on-ramp, register with Kraken, buy some crypto, and then 15 hours have passed and my car is not charged. So obviously, I hope you guys have some solution for this, because this wouldn't fly, right? I just got my Tesla and I want to charge it and be gone in like a couple of hours, have my coffee. How am I going to do that?
This is definitely a showstopper. No way. And by the way, the idea for this use case we got from Enrico Tallinn, Enrico from Commercial Network, and he said, Greg, I have PV solar panels, I have Tesla, I have charger, and right now tell me how I can monetize this charger, my energy, and we started to think, and we cannot you cannot provide this service just for crypto community. Of course, crypto community is fine because, as I said, we can use any token to charge EV, and this is amazing experience use case. But the real adoption is when you provide a service for non-crypto community, which is a huge community, and this is actually what we are focused on: how to onboard such customers, how to offer the service where you don't need seed phrases and so on, and we are focused on such experience, and like topics like key management, account abstraction, and so on. There are topics which are analyzing how to use them, incorporate to our solution that users can have the best UX ever.
Are you foreseeing any difficulty in getting the app cleared through App Store or Google Play Store? Because obviously, clearing, you're essentially paying for energy with the tokens. What are you expecting? Any resistance there or any difficulties?
So we are not there yet because right now this application is not provided at App Store. But I know that this is actually the topic which we have to focus at how to tackle it. But from the perspective of user experience and such customer, definitely we should think from the perspective of payment with Google payment or app Apple Pay and so on. And so this is actually how it should works without using token from the user perspective, but
right. I just want to pay, and you want to settle
I just want to pay.
I don't care how. Yeah.
Exactly, because when we are in the crypto space, what we are thinking first, okay, how to tokenize everything. It's like we are really
Sure.
really in we have this mindset from non-crypto user. The first question is why I need any token. It's like
Yeah, of course.
they don't care about that.
No, it's clear. You guys have to solve this path and make it super easy. It has to be taps in the app, just like connect the point, escrow the money, just like at a gas pump when it's off hours, right? You come, you plug in your Visa, you give it a limit, and then you start pumping fuel.
And we will do that actually for energy communities, which we are building right now. And users are gonna to pay based on subscription model. And they can select whatever payment method they want, and the SaaS software will do the magic underneath.
So they'll just do swaps or on-ramps or whatever.
And the solution will be built in a such manner that, of course, we are using the SaaS approach, but if anybody would like to use blockchain primitives to achieve the same approach, they can go and use Leap wallet, Kepler wallet, whatever wallet they want to use, and it should work.
Right. Yeah, that sounds pretty cool. So this onboarding challenge is pretty difficult, right? So fingers crossed that you guys can come up with a really simple solution, and you don't get blocked by the big guys trying to extract some extra fees. But maybe I don't know where energy is in the list of items. So there are actually things you can use Apple Pay and Google Pay for, and there are things you cannot use it for, and there are different levels of like the extracted fee by these guys. So like good luck and fingers crossed that you guys navigate all of this mess, because obviously the app is critical here. This has to be accessible, this has to be fast, this has to be on the go, right? So I'm an app developer myself. I've written some of these, so I've had the pain of App Store reviews, and I sympathize.
Yeah, Martin, actually, ultimately it can end up in a way that, okay, if we want to use Kepler or whatever wallet, then we will have like a non-official or not version, which can be download from, outside of store. But for majority, we'll use, simplified version, which has only Apple payment or Google payment method, whatever.
Or you can use progressive web apps. Those have some interesting rules around. They can get around some of the App Store rules. I'm just saying. I've seen. So if you go pay in restaurants here, there's a company called Querco, and when you load the app, it just loads from the internet. It's not an actual app via the store, but it looks like an app, but it loads straight from the internet, and then you can pay using different methods.
Actually, our application is built in this way.
As a PWA? Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
then I guess you
exactly.
guys will have much less trouble.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, we are facing other topics because, on the other hand, I'm not, developer, but I heard from my team that when we are going to use, seed, all Web3 topics, you have more challenges, but
Yeah, of course.
this is more or less how it works.
The app will not have access to any of the secure enclaves on the phone. It's rough. Anyway, so this is super interesting. Like I'm excited to see how you guys can connect the mobile app straight to the blockchain and just make it easy for users. I'd love to see an experience like that, appear, especially on top of Cosmos. There's one other topic I wanted to touch with you because we worked on it quite a bit together, and this decentralization, right? And you guys are going to do clearing for energy, which is obviously like a key use case, as you've noted in the EU. So from the start, when we started talking about, for the first time, I think we met at Cosmoverse, right? And then we stood in the same queue at the airport. We were wondering about this.
Yes, I remember.
Hey, let's look into this decentralization thing. But then you got quite serious about it, right? So we started working on this together in December, but I'd love to hear like your journey, because the change in the Chain4Energy, as observed by us, is quite marked. Like it's a impressive story of change and decentralization, like from A to B, big distance travel. Like kudos to you guys.
Thanks a lot.
But what was your experience here? Like I would like to, for also for other blockchains, can you explain like how much work it took, like how you guys got started? Why did you decide it's really key and put all the effort in? So let's start at the beginning.
Yeah, actually, I remember our discussion at the airport, and it was just after Cosmoverse, and we were, completely destroyed. I remember that it was crazy, and actually, we started to chat, and actually, you mentioned about the Observatory tool, and at the beginning, frankly speaking, I didn't got, right understanding what this tool is for, and then we were chatting over Telegram and so on, and we tried to understand. Then I got feedback that Zach is collaborating with you and one of our validator, and we started to talk. And at the beginning, frankly speaking, I didn't see huge value from the observatory, because I said, okay, we have validators, we have decentralized network, and it's not our business where exactly validators are located. This is their business, and so on and so on. At the end of the day, when we connected to Observatory, you said, guys, 45% of your network is on OVH, and we said, oops. It's like then you are starting to think. Or you have two validators, which they actually, I don't remember exactly what was the KPI, but it was like either in one country or whatever. You have Nakamoto coefficients in such way. And then we started, okay, we can say, we will think about this topic later on. Let's focus on building, and so on and so on. But as you mentioned, we are building the critical infrastructure for energy market. If we don't think about decentralization since day one, later on it could be too late, because it can happen that you will have big validators who are concentrated, and you are not able to do any movement because you don't have enough influence later on as you have right now, because right now before listing, the majority of tokens are in our hands, so we can delegate them, and we can use this, let's say, power to make
to help
stuff,
shape the network.
Yeah, in right way at the beginning. So this
but
is actually,
how do you guys did that? So the metrics is one thing, right? So you look at the metrics and you're like, oops, so this is not good. But then it's a decentralized community, right? There's a
Yes.
bunch of validators. You guys have 50, gone to 75 validators pretty quickly. And like now what happens? So did you go talk to guys individually? Did you have group chats? Like how did you, broach this topic? And, how did you affect change? That would be the most interesting question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it wasn't easy task. Frankly speaking, we spent more or less 4 months going from the point A to point B, and it was a lot of discussion with different validators, as you mentioned, and we got feedback from them. Of course, it's like we have one point of view. Validators who are paying for infrastructure, and they are looking for the most cost-effective infrastructure, or the infrastructure which they already have to utilize. They are thinking from the other angle, and we had to find the right approach. The right approach is how to incentivize validators who are moving forward and taking extra mile to help the project. And we decided to build a strategic reserve delegation program where we are utilizing huge portion of our strategic reserve for delegation, and this delegation is utilized in different way. One of the ways objective, where validators are incentivized by delegation based on different KPIs like country location, ISP location, uptime, how they are participation in governance, and so on and so on. And then we are using the tool which is behind Observatory Smart Delegation app, which we are using, provided by you, where we can utilize that for delegation based on algorithm. I don't know all details. This is actually your job, what we are doing there, but this
yeah, it's true. But I mean, you guys are as the foundation, ultimately, like, true, we provide the tools in this case, but I'm curious in your experience as a foundation. I mean, the tools help, but then there's all these discussions that you have to manage, that you have to have. You already said like it took 4 months. Would you did you work with specific validators and talk to them and say, hey guys, what would it take for you to move out of here? I mean, we have concentration, or can you tell us a little bit more, like anonymously without naming specific validators? What did these discussions actually look like?
And this is actually a funny topic, maybe, because we started onboarding validators. At the beginning was, okay guys, just come to our network, we will give you delegation, like initial delegation, to encourage them to onboard on our chain. And this is actually a hard job which each blockchain has to do. So we made this job, and I was really surprised, and I'm always saying big thank you to my validators that they onboarded such quickly. And so we had 55 validators. This is our active set before end of the year. And then it was a lot of discussion. Okay, this validator has more tokens. Why I have less tokens? It was like I had endless discussion with validators at DMs, at Telegram, Discord, and they were chasing me to do extra delegation, because they knew that I have power to do so. And it was like kind of initial investment from their perspective. I will do extra mile, and then maybe we will have extra delegation. But it wasn't healthy, because I should concentrate on building the project, not trying to fulfill validators' expectations and needs. So it was one of the reasons why we decided to have this strategic reserve program, that everything is clear. And even right now, I am not evaluating criteria. We invited one of our validator Stake and Relax, and Zach is leading this topic. So he's consulting with us, but this is actually why we want to make it even transparent and objective from this perspective.
Right, makes sense. So obviously, everybody knows the market is pretty hard right now. Many validators are likely, not break even. So sort of understand the lobbying efforts here, but also the foundation is charged with boosting the ecosystem, right, and building it out and making sure it's healthy.
Yes.
And goes on. So this is where sort of everything has to meet and somehow work out. What is the best future for Chain4Energy? So again, kudos. Anybody can have a look at the Observatory today to check out how Chain4Energy is doing on decentralization. I think it's pretty good.
But maybe a final comment that it's not one-step approach. So it is like you are doing one step, then observing what is the result, and then deciding what to do as a next step. In my opinion, the best approach is like to see what we should do, discuss with validator community, which are very important stakeholders from the blockchain perspective, and then try to find something which is, let's say, acceptable by validators, and that they are supporting this approach. And for instance, using Observatory, not all validators are happy about, because they don't want to disclose the validator architecture, and this is perfectly fine. We understand that, and we are trying to find the way how we can incentivize as well such validators who have very high degree of security, and they don't want to give too much information from that perspective.
That's a very good point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wish you all the best with your infrastructure, and hope it gets a strong undercarriage for your project. Looks like you guys have put a lot of effort into it. That's very clear. So hopefully all your use cases come online sooner rather than later. And yeah, see you at Gateway.
Maybe just one last another topic. It's like, for instance, we have some points if somebody is providing public goods like RPC nodes, archive nodes, and so on. But right now we are not checking that. But at the next stage, we should check that the validators who are providing some public goods are providing that continuously. Like, for instance, what is the response time or availability of RPC node, and so on. And so a lot of work in front of us to make the infrastructure reliable. So this is like work in progress.
All right, good luck with that. Hey, it was great to have you on the show, Greg. So see you around.